state-of-the-art sound system, fully stocked bar, dedicated cleaning crew, top-notch security. This isn't just a venue, it's a floating masterpiece designed to make your event the talk of the town. Imagine your guests dancing under the stars, drinks in hand, with breathtaking views of the coastline as your backdrop. From birthdays to corporate events to exclusive parties, the Embassy Yacht offers promoters a unique platform to create unforgettable memories and boost your brand's reputation. Call or WhatsApp 399-5959 or email embassycruises@gmail.com.
The presence of oxygen is absolutely the absence of disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but is happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Iwer Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Chamfleur, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Grand uprising, my people. Grand uprising, grand uprising. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone listening within the sound of my ear. Good morning and good morning. Tobago people. Wagwan. Penella, long time no see, no hear. I sincerely hope you're in class this morning. You and your page, you and your posse. I hope you're all in class this morning. So, Penella, all the best for the new year going forward, and by extension, the rest of your family and all the people hanging out with you that are in class with you this morning. Good morning to you guys, all right? Up in Mason Hall there. So, all right, good morning to Mason Hall, Nians. Good morning to y'all. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to Dollar Fort people. Wagwan. Tobago, Tobago, Tobago. Lovely, lovely day, man. Don't worry yourself, man. This too shall pass. And whatever you're going through, just understand that it's lessons. So look at what you're doing and take the lessons from that. So blessings again, blessings, blessings. I got a lot on my plate this morning, so I just want to keep the greeting short. So good morning to every single body, the police department, the fire department, Coast Guard, airport police, the regiment. Let me see who again, man. What? The private security firm. Good morning to you all. I think I said the fire department already, all right? Our army and the whole boat. So good morning to you all. Blessed morning. And I just want to say this real quick. Good morning, Mrs. Spencer. Good morning to you there. I hope you're well. Good morning. Miss Gettins, good morning. How you doing? Blessed morning to you, Nicole. Good morning, Nicole Huggins. And Beverly in the UK, blessed morning to you. Good morning, Miss Aaron. Good morning. Hope you are well. Let me just say this real quick. Again, I like to make my part very clear that every one of us have a right to our opinion. We just doesn't have a right to our own set of facts. And while I have a health show, this is all about health, I like to, from time to time, I like to interject with my opinion and say what I need to say with reference to how I see things in our country. So I'm going to say this quick once again. Let me remind you guys, this is not a political program. Please do not call in with any political stuff. I just have the platform, I have the mic, so I just want to voice my idea. Now, real quick, let me just say this. Disclaimer, Mr. Johnson consider himself an intelligent man because he knows he does not know everything. All right? Now, here what's going on. Politically, our country, as all of us know, economically is kind of rough. But here's a question I want to ask, and I want you to ask yourself, because some people go on their back foot all the time, regardless of what, they protect a party rather than embracing issue. Again, this is my opinion. I have 110% rights to it. However, I know I do not know everything, and therefore I do not have a right to my own set of facts. My opinion, my view. We are in economical problems in our country. How did we get there? We get there because the people that we put there mismanaged our money. However you want to process that in your mind, use your imagination. They misused our money. And therefore, we are in this problem. Well, why aren't they being held accountable? Why the pressure has to come back on us? So hear what I'm saying. The fact that citizens always have to pay a tremendous price like this, like what we're going through right now, for our inept politicians who were there before that mismanaged our money, the fact that the boomerang has to come back on us, it shows you a couple of things. Number one, that they, not only that they're not responsible and culpable, but they lack innovative ideas in how money should be made. And even right now, this is exactly what's going on. You lack innovative ideas of how money should be made. And the only thing that you see fit is to swing it back on the citizen, right? And like the echo is because I saw this with that European politician too. He's very, very outspoken. I can't remember his name. That putting tax on people is like standing up in a bucket and trying to lift yourself out of it. I remember that clearly. I saw it last year and the year before. I saw it about 3 times. So my thing is, why aren't they being held accountable? Why it has to come back to us? They're the one who caused us to be in this position. We employ you. Now you're doing all you did what you need to do, and now we have to pay a hefty price for it. Again, our leaders, our politicians lack innovative ideas, and the only thing that they see fit to make money is to put back pressure on us. This boomerang is going to go on and on because I think people just seeing things for what it is. No. Well, you could apply that to your life and live your life. No, I think that's a beautiful thing to do because that's the only thing you can see and feel, which is in the know. But when you come to politics, it ain't happening that way because that affects us down the road. You know what I'm saying? That affects us down the road. So what is going to happen when pressure is on the citizen? No money like, salaries are not going up, work getting hard. I want you all to use your imagination, and I'm going to leave that right there. I digress. So good morning, everybody. Good morning once again. This is your boy, Mr. Johnson, a.k.a. RJ, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at 92 East Drive in Champlain. And I bring perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I do. For those of you who are listening to me for the first time, let me just say this. I am a fitness expert and an herbalist, a self-proclaimed herbalist practitioner. And you could sit on that and put it however you want. But I welcome the people who support me. And I am led to, always been led to the people who need me and the people who I need. So, good morning again to you guys. Let me just jump with this real quick. Chronic diseases is what I look after. Chronic diseases can be healed. Chronic diseases could be a thing of the past. Chronic diseases is easier to get rid of in the body than anyone would have led you to believe. That is it. These things are not happening to us, they're happening within us. This is just the way it is. How do we get sick? Because of what we eat, the type of foods that we eat. Now, there are certain things that we were told that we need to stop doing, right? There are certain things that we need to stop doing that are creating a deleterious effect on our health by the people who we look up to, right? Like stop eating salt, certain fats, natural fats, stay away from certain fats, and all this type of nonsense that we go through every day that create these problems for us, and we don't think like we can't make decisions for ourselves. So we listen to the people who give us the people who we look up to. We take whatever they say, hook, line, and sinker, even if it's destroying us. And I'm here to just tell you, look at how you feel. You're following a particular advice in a particular, basically protocol or a road that you were led to by a particular fraternity. And even if you were led down that road, you have to look and see how you feel, your biochemistry, and the things that are going on with you. And people, ladies and gentlemen, it's time we think for ourselves. So please let us do the things we need to do, all right? So let me just say this one more time. I bring perspective and perspective and perspective. The raw materials for the human body, the raw materials is what's going to make your body retweak itself and it will heal itself, all right? There's something in our body called the immune system. It resides in the gut. Gut health is the engine of the human body. So I'm going to tell you something now. Do you guys know what is PPI? PPI. PPI is proton pump inhibitors. What is proton pump inhibitors? Do you know what is nitric oxide? All right, let me put a pause on that for a little bit. Mr. Johnson is not telling anyone what they should eat. For those of you on my phone, check out my status. Mr. Johnson is not telling anyone what they should eat. Mr. Johnson is telling you emphatically and implicitly the foods you need to avoid. Because in today's world, we're not really eating food anymore. We are eating products that was made by man that runs counter to our ancestral genome. We're not eating food that come from the ground anymore because probably we are too lazy and we make excuses. Oh, I got to work at this particular time. I have to go to work. When do I have time to cook food? And when do I have time to pick up this stuff food? And all these nonsensical excuses we make. In the meanwhile, you can't even enjoy the money that you wake up from every day, have to go through traffic. You can't even enjoy it because your biochemistry been hit hard by the very thing that you work hard for to buy. Process that for a little bit, because you know we think that this is a joke. Here, we look for these external stuff. We take better care of our bodies externally than we do internally. And me and understand what kind of math is that. Let me give you a case in point. You will watch a brother in a beautiful machine well kept. He slow down for every pothole that a bicycle can go over. And when he get out that car, that truck, or that SUV, he's wheezing. He can't breathe well, and he can't walk well. Make that make sense to me now. Make that make sense. To cross the road, it takes a while because your body can barely carry you. Sarcopenia sets in. It can barely carry you. But the external things, the external forces means more to us. Way more to us than the internal one. That is programming, boy, to the 10th power. Programming. If you want to make a contribution to the program as way of health, please don't call with any political stuff. Like I tell you, I put up my disclaimer with reference to me making my political statement and that kind of stuff, all right? But please don't call in on that. But if you want to contribute to the program, call 342-0081. Call the studio. I'll take your call once it's reference to health. 342-0081. Again, 342-0081 or 466-5391. 466-5391. Give me a call and we can take it from there, all right? Now, one of the things that I was saying before is the proton pump inhibitors and the things that we somehow acquiesce to. I'm trying to multitask now because there's something that is going on with my phone, and if somebody calls me, I probably won't, they won't probably be able to get me. I'm trying to reset this thing here. So please bear with me for a little bit, and I hope that it will be done soon, sooner than later. All right, folks. Right. So, I hope that is it. Right. So I was talking about the proton pump inhibitors, and I asked you guys if you know what nitric oxide is, right? Well, let me educate you here. Nitric oxide, if your body doesn't have nitric oxide, ladies and gentlemen, if it doesn't, nothing in your body would work. Nitric oxide operates like a gas, and it gives permission to the cells to operate the way they ought to operate. So for instance, like a person who have diabetes, if you lack nitric oxide, well, it's now safe you're going to be in trouble. You will never, ever get better. Never. And that's going to be a serious, serious problem for you. So, like I have real problems multitasking, trying to get this thing done here. It's just not working. It's just not working out. All right. I don't know, maybe I will have to leave that until I'm done. And people, if you want to get in touch with me, please call the studio. I'll put that down for now. Right. So let me just say this again. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how important nitric oxide is to the body. And let me just say this too. When you are on proton pump inhibitors, which is those medicines that doctors give you, it literally shut down nitric oxide, shut it down clean. It just won't work. And because of that, stroke, Alzheimer's, heart disease, and cancer, you are susceptible to. Now just remember, all the people that would have gotten a heart attack or a stroke would have been on medication. And I could attest to that. I could tell you because I researched it. If you go to 9.5 out of 10 people that suffered a heart attack, a stroke, or one of those cardiovascular diseases was on medication when that happened. Process that for a little bit. Was on medication. Again, I tired preach this. I am not against the pharmaceutical. I am not against, my nurses and doctors. But I do have a problem with my pharmaceutical people. Let me tell you this call. Blessed morning, caller, you're live.
Hi, happy morning.
Good morning, Angie. Happy New Year to you, darling. How are you?
I am doing very well, thank you.
Very, very good. So where you been? You went to France or?
I went to France. I have a belt for you.
Really?
Yes.
A small belt or a big belt?
A big one.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I have a jeans that could probably fit on. Bring it.
Please return my calls. Please and thanks.
All right.
Right, have a good day.
All right. You too, Angie. Blessed love. All right, folks. So let me go on again. I am not against my nurses and doctor, but I do have a problem with the pharmaceutical fraternity. I really do have a serious problem with them. All right. And for you got to learn to make individual decisions by way of, even if you have to do some antibiotics or whatever it is, it shouldn't be more than like about a 2 or 3 weeks, that stuff. But again, I digress because you see, they're going to hammer me for saying this, that, well, how do you know what happened to the people? Why they had to do that and they have to be on the medication and stuff like that? Well, hear what I am saying to you. If you nutrify your body the way it ought to, the way God and nature intended it to be, there is no need for that. Unless you have an injury, there would be no need to do such a thing. So I get a call. I always want to talk about stuff like that. But before I go there, let me just show you this nitric oxide. Again, how important it is. You could give me a call. And I will take it at 736-3962. 736-3962 or 709-8450. And let me just say this again. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Johnson offers a free consultation. That is it. You have an hour to an hour and 15 minutes to explain certain things to me, and then I will take it from there, and then we go from there. And then I can offer you, based on what your complaint is, I can offer you the right botanical herb, clinically based, scientifically proved botanical herbs to help your body recalibrate right back to homeostasis in vitro, the way God and nature intended it to be. It's not that hard to do, right? This is why I tell you, I'm not telling you what kind of food to eat. I just tell you what food to avoid. Mr. Johnson is not here to convince, I'm here to convey. Okay? So, let us move on. And if you take that seriously, then you will have a road to walk where you would be more than happy with yourself. All right? So let me just tell you this again. Let me just, again, put this back out there to let people know, again, what I do. I am a fitness expert, and I'm a self-proclaimed herbalist practitioner. I know I don't know everything. All right? Some of us didn't know that we didn't know. We still don't know that we don't know. But he who knows not and knows not that he knows not, we know what's going on with he there, him or her. And in that particular sphere of life, everything is by choice, and choice have consequences. I got a call again, and this was a very long call because I was on speaker. The call was from the United States of America, and I had about 8 families on the phone, and they asked me some questions. The phone call lasted, I am sure, probably an hour and 48 minutes, and a lot of questions, and I think they were very pleased when I was finished. And the call was with reference to the cholesterol stuff, because one of the lady that listens to me religiously, like, I think based on what she said, 4 or 5 people in the immediate family that was on cholesterol medication, and because of what I used to tell her, what I used to say on my program, or what I continue to say on my program, she tried to convince them to come off it, because she did, and for a long while she felt real good. So I had to go over this stuff here, and out of those family, 8 of them that was on the phone, I think 8 or 9, I think 8 or 9, 5 of which were diabetics, and the others has certain chronic ailments and stuff. But 4 of those people, all of them was on some type of medication, but 4 was hardcore on cholesterol medication. So I had to go through that entire process and explain to them what cholesterol does and how important cholesterol is to the human body. So again, folks, I'm just telling you, Mr. Johnson, no, he does not know everything, but hear what I'm telling you straight up, that the one, that infinite intelligence that made us, make our body to make its own cholesterol. Our body needs cholesterol so bad, the liver makes it, right? And that conversation was about that, and I am sure after that talk, hopefully, well, I can't be sure, and hopefully that they come off the cholesterol medication. And that was Sunday. That call was, like I said, an hour and 48 minutes, I think, because I checked it out. I am urging you guys again, because honestly, we are at a point in our life right now where we live in our life very vicariously, and we don't care what we put into our biochemistry. And I get this talk all the time, well, what else I go eat, and else you don't have nothing else to eat, and all them kind of stuff there you're getting all the time. Excuses. And if you look at the people who make those talks, you'll understand why they are in the position that they are. And I'm not here to criticize anybody. I am talking reality here. It ain't nothing that I'm saying here that isn't true, or not reflecting the society that we live in. So I'm going to rest this down for a little bit. I'm going to give an advice again to the people who are working out. This is extremely important, because I know our season carnival coming up, and I myself is a carnival zombie. I love my culture, I love my carnival, right? Real bad. Always has. So let me just say this right now. There are a lot of people who are working out every single day. Every day. And when I look at some of these people that worked out, that are working out, to be honest with you, ain't nothing going on. Nothing is going on. And I admire the people who I see walking the road every single day, every morning. I admire the people who are walking. I see them up in the morning early. I admire that more and more and more. But nothing is happening. Your heart race a little bit, you know what I'm saying? You had the heart racing a little bit, and that's okay, because that part needs it. But ladies and gentlemen, you can work out as much as you want. You can walk as far and long as you want. If you continue to eat foods that are spiking your insulin, you are absolutely wasting your time. If you walk out in the rain, without an umbrella, you're going to get wet. You are absolutely wasting your time. Nothing is going on with you. In order to get any type of results, in order to lose any type of weight, insulin must reduce. Without the reduction of insulin, it's impossible to burn fat. It's never going to happen. And I'm going to go back again and remind you guys how dangerous insulin is. While it's a beautiful thing for biochemistry, it's also a very dangerous stuff if it's not controlled. And I'm going to give you another benchmark how dangerous this is. I told you guys already, and I'll tell you again. Look, if you eat 3 boiled eggs, there will be no raising of insulin. There's nothing for the insulin. There's no glucose or glucagon to be in your blood for the pancreas to release any insulin for to park it in the cell. But eat half a cookie, the amount of insulin that comes out there. And I'm saying this to tell you, when you eat food out of boxes, when you eat ultra-processed food, insulin flows all the time. And then when it makes 2 hours again, you go and eat the same food again. Insulin flows again. So the more of those food you eat, the more the body is required, the more insulin is plowed. It flows out from your pancreas, poor insulin. Flow out from your pancreas in order to move the glucose out of your blood. And then you go and eat again, and then between that you snack, and insulin will never ever come down. That answers equal metabolic disease, type 2 diabetes, heart issue, stroke, impotence, polycystic ovarian syndrome, fibroids, interstitial cystitis. Everything that could go wrong in your biochemistry will go wrong when insulin does not come down. It doesn't. So the first thing you're going to see is type 2 diabetes. One of the first things. And when insulin is up, it's very difficult to separate metabolic disease from high blood pressure. It's very, very rare you'll see somebody with insulin problem, insulinemia, hyperinsulinemia issues that doesn't have high blood pressure. And then you take the high blood pressure medication, you're not doing anything for the insulin other than taking metformin and stuff like that, and you still have problems because you're suppressing the stuff. You're not doing what you ought to do in order to reduce the insulin. What are we doing here? You want me to remind you again? Let me remind you guys again what happened. Let me just remind you guys again. If your check engine light come on your dashboard, because this, I will say it until it registers with some people. If the check engine light come on your dashboard, your check engine light is not your problem. So don't get fed up when you see it there all the time. Don't get fed up and then call a man and he take his gun and he get the check engine light off of it. And then when the check engine light come off, it come back on in 3-4 weeks again. You go back and you do the same thing again. Your check engine light is not your problem. Is what caused your check engine light to come on is your problem. When your car overheating and it going up in the needle, going up in the red, that is not your problem. That meter ain't your problem. The overheating is not your problem. It's what causing the overheating is your problem. So when you have insulin rising like that, that's the check engine light on the dashboard. When you have high blood pressure, when you have interstitial cystitis, when you have impotence issue, when you have endometriosis, that's the problem. Because for women, the insulin is so high. It's so high. It creates that problem inside of the womb. So one time for you to ovulate, listen good, one time for you to ovulate, ain't nothing going to happen. So it releases these follicles inside of your body. Next thing, your stomach rising and falling, rising and falling, rising and falling. Next thing you know, you have polycystic ovarian syndrome, right? This is polyps in your ovarian. Or you have endometriosis, which is inflammation in your fallopian tube. And all them stuff could be done. And you think working out going to help that if you continue to eat the same food? No, it's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. Stop eating processed foods. Right? And this is one of the other things that I was talking about at the onset of the program, that our leaders lack innovative problems. Why you don't pump money into our farmers? Why you don't create money? Because in food it are real paper. Why don't you open more processed stuff? Why don't we have more factories where farmers could do their thing? Why? Why we have to import all this food here? Because or you're going to shift us some other people, so they want to hear what, or you want to appease these other people who bring in millions and millions of poison into our country. Processed food, you want to appease them. I don't care if them get mad. Make a healthy society. So if you want to talk about lawlessness, let we talk about that, because that is lawlessness. If you want to talk about people not thinking, well, the pothole in the road is people not thinking neither. If you want to think about thinking, well, the leaks in the road is not it's that either. We need to stop the duplicitous attitude that we have here, and it transcends straight back into our health. Sometimes I just talk like a spider web, you know. I go on all over the place, but I just come right back in the middle. I saying to you right now, once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Johnson. I'm telling you my heart. My heart here, I'm not telling you what to eat, I'm telling you what food to avoid. Avoid food that made in a factory, comes in a box, and has a barcode on it. It raises our insulin level consistent, all the time, and insulin will never go down. And as I told you guys already, the pathology of diabetes is insulin resistance. That is the pathology of diabetes. You can't get away from it. We are only having this problem because of the type of foods that we eat. Right? I draw a parallel already with you people. If you look at the people who live in Iceland, what you call those people, the Eskimos. Look at the Eskimos. The majority of their foods is seafood. If you take Okinawa, Japan, let me use that for again. The majority of the food that they eat is starch. Mostly starch. If you look at the Maasai in Africa, we know what they eat. It's like a cow milk. Sometimes they even drink some cow urine, I think, and they eat certain vegetable. None of them suffering from diabetes. You know why? There's one common denominator all of them has. In one common denominator. They don't eat processed foods. They not get diabetes. So understand this. Why are we riddled? Why is this country that has 1.4 million, Tobago have like barely 60,000 people, and the amount of prostate and foot chopping off and why? Because of what we eating. Our blood, the viscosity of our blood come like soup. But we still going blissfully unaware. Blissfully unaware. What is wrong with us humans? I can't figure that out. Too much programming. And when I say this, some people get upset. Too much programming and engineered ignorance. You see, here's the deal. Ignorance can be changed. Ignorance. That can change all the time. But arrogance, that ain't going to change. No arrogant person will never learn. I'm going to say this again. Arrogant people can't learn nothing. They stay just like that. So whoever want to get shifted by that and be upset, go ahead. But the helm loaded with arrogant people. And those are the ones that send the messages. Those are the ones that is in control. If you want to know the drift of a country, if you want to know how well a country is doing, just look at the leaders. I'm going to leave that alone for now. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, the only thing that you have going for you, the only thing that you have going for you, the only thing that you have going for you is your health. Anything else can fall apart. But if you stand strong in your health and being disciplined, you're going to be okay. You're going to rally the storm. There are certain things that happen in life that are meant to destroy you. And when it doesn't destroy you, you get used to the rain. There are certain lessons you can only learn through a storm. Don't let anybody tell you anything because you make mistakes in life. Mistakes are life lessons. And I'm going to punctuate this again because, you see, when I talk about this, is those very attitude that we have that cause us to go into the same thing when it comes to our health. The very negative, derogatory, toxic attitude goes right back into our biochemistry because that is just how it is. Our mind is toxic. There's a fish in Tobago that is called mullet. In Bago, there's a fish that is called mullet. Mullet live in toxic, muddy water. Don't play at taking out a mullet from in there and put it in clean water, you know. It dead. Before hour going on dead. It's used to the toxicity. Why I'm saying this? It has some people so toxic you probably won't be able to help them. The recovery and help is beyond you. And those are the ones that give you the attitude about, well, where else I go eat? Why I go eat? Yeah? I want life to live and eat what I want to eat. And I always say, well, you could do that as much as you want. Just don't ask nobody for help. Don't go and harass nobody and ask a family member, could you help me to go to the doctor when you can't walk? You need a ride. No. Don't ask nobody nothing. Don't disrupt the flow of anybody else's life who trying to make their lives as comfortable as they possibly can. And you want to come and disrupt that flow because you fail to take care of yours by engineered ignorance and arrogance, I should say. Look, again, let me just repeat myself. Mr. Johnson ain't telling you what you should eat. Mr. Johnson telling you what you should avoid. Because you see, the answers, the results of what we do in this country, and by extension the world, it shows every day when you look at young men and young women walking the street and look at their midsection. And honestly, the truth and the fact is, it's difficult. But don't get mad at me when I highlight the truth. It's difficult. I'm not telling you it isn't difficult. But it can be done. That's the spirit of the human element. Listen, a good life, I don't know who tell all you that a good life is painless, eh? Me, I know where I learned that from. But a good life has pain in it. Because that's what keeps you on your toe. That's what keeps you on your toes. And let me show you something too. Happiness is internal. Let me say that again. Happiness is internal. It's difficult. It's difficult to find happiness anywhere else. It's an internal thing. It's a choice. I know what you're going to say, well, easier said than done. Okay, well, stay there. Stay there and be sad and stress yourself out and do all the things that won't work for you. Continue to do that. Stay there with that. But again, Mr. Johnson is just here to educate, so please appreciate. I am guiding you down a road. I am trying to lead you down a road. Again, I'm going to say this again. Let me just say this, because one of my boys always tell me, he said, man, why don't you just tell people your age all the time? He said, that should be something you talk about. So let me just remind you guys again. Mr. Johnson is 6 decades, 0.5. I feel real good. And I'm not going to hold this back because of years of training when I was in the United States and Canada. I do have a nerve that pinch sometimes. It's called sciatica. It goes and comes. And it's only because I know what to do why I'm still moving around. So I had to find my way to deal with that particular stuff. You probably wouldn't even be able to tell. Unless you have a trained eye, you won't be able to tell that I have that particular issue, because it goes and comes. And when it comes, sometimes if you look at my gait, it's a bit off. My ambulation is a little bit off. But that don't stop me, because one day it's going to go away. It came before, and it got away 10 years before it came back. It recently came back. I'll go out to deal with that. So I'm just saying an injury is a story that is very different. But when you are purposely putting food in your biochemistry that does not cross-reference your ancestral genome, it creates a problem. Let us open up our eyes. And then, you know, it has people that telling you straight up, emphatically clear, you know how expensive food is? Wait, hold on. Yes, I do know. And what? And what? So that's a badge for you to look the way you look? That is a badge for your toe to cut off? Because food expensive? You remember I talk about the external things? Cosmetically. We like to take care of ourselves. We like to look good cosmetically. Externally. The expensive clothes, by telling me food expensive? You don't mind paying 6, 7, 8, 9, a grand, $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 for shoes. $800, $900 for jeans. Maybe I'm going too far. $400 for jeans. You don't mind that because of a brand name, but you got the nerve to tell me food is expensive. Where are our priorities? I have no clue. But here, this is what I'm going to tell you, because this is Mr. Johnson's quote, and you won't find it anywhere else. Your job is not your priority. Your job is not your priority. Let me say this again. Your job is not your priority. Your job is your well-being. Your priority is your health, your immediate family, and your devotion to whoever your concept of God is / your divine. Not your job. You think your job is your priority? I'm sure if you work in a company or you work for some sector of the government, you see people passed away already. They're giving you $4 and a sandwich, and they forget you the next day. And a $5 wreath, and they forget you. None of us are indispensable. So want you make your job your priority? Go right ahead. Because you see, some of you are going to go and want to give me excuses for that. Well, if I don't work, hold your money and whatever. Well, here we're going to tell you, if you're in the health center with your foot chopped off or you're in the hospital bed, how you get any money to? But our priorities are backwards. We just have it wrong. Just wrong. Everything is just wrong. I'm just asking every day. I'm just saying every day. Folks, I don't know, people who trying to call, I know what's going on my phone this morning. Come in here working good, and all of a sudden I don't know what's going on. So if you're trying to WhatsApp me and whatever, and again, I'm sorry. It happens sometimes, so I can't even look at the WhatsApp and send some greetings. I know what's going on, and I ain't that savvy to be talking and try to go through there and fix it. That ain't gonna work for me. I just can't multitask, because I just not something I can do. I do one thing at a time, and I focus on that thing and do what I need to do. Until I'm finished that, I go to something else. My dad always tell me, if you can't do something properly, don't do it at all. I get real licks for that already. Okay? And I grew up with that, and I believe in that. I didn't understand what he was trying to tell me, but I truly, truly believe in that. If you can't do something properly, leave it alone. That's his style all the time. Yeah, I get some whooping for that already. All my sibling will tell you that. So, to me, that's a beautiful thing. It's a good thing. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm not sure how many people would have gotten what I tried to dispensate this morning, tried to expatiate my mental faculties in way of health. I'm not sure how many people get, but I hope one person would have gotten the message. All right? That highly ultra-processed foods are going to destroy us, will always destroy us, and we are going to eventually have a very miserable, miserable, miserable life. We have our gut microbiome, we have our endoplasma, we had the cytoplasma, we had the mitochondria. Let's show some love and respect for our human physiology. And you know something? Here is the deal. You see, the people who we look up to, hear what they tell you all the time. They don't believe, and let me say that, they don't tell you by words, but in terms of their, if I could find a definitive word, let me just keep it simply. In terms of their benchmark, in terms of how they do medicine, they believe that the human body isn't imbued with an intelligence. They don't. Allopathic reductionistic medicine, and it's allopathic reductionism. It's a reductionistic medicine. Allopathic reductionistic medicine do not believe the human body is imbued with an intelligence. So I'm going to ask you guys this question now. When you are dead, knock out in the night, you're sleeping, you knock out clean, your brain still function, your heart still beat, your pulses still work. Who running that show? Who running that show? So they don't believe the human body is imbued with intelligence. Hear what they believe. And I'm not saying that they, as individual, this is what they believe. I am just saying this is the rules of the fraternity. This is the umbrella in which they work under. That the human body is a bag of biochemistry waiting to be broken. And when it's broken, they hammer you with drugs. it can only be fixed. It can only be managed. It cannot be fixed. It can only be managed. Why? Because they look at pathologies. They don't look at physiologies. They don't look at what caused the pathology, which means they just treat the symptoms only. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now your heart, kidney, liver, and the rest of your biochemistry, well, especially the heart, the kidney, in your liver, is in jail for a crime they never committed. Because you're hammering the symptoms, the expression of the symptoms. And I always tell you guys, when you go, this is not trying to be better than the doctors, because I tell you, my man, surgeon, and my surgeon, and surgeons are God, brother. I'm telling you, they're good. That fraternity is great at acute trauma, period. That's it. Acute trauma. Acute trauma, they're real good at that. But here's the deal. I tell you guys ready, you go to the doctor. And they do a test, and they do what you call a diagnose. That diagnosis is based on symptoms. Well, that's not really a diagnosis. As I said before, and I'll tell you again, that's a clinical picture. You hear? That's a clinical picture. A diagnosis is a mechanism. Process that for a little bit. I want to talk about this before my time is up here on the air. I want to talk about this. POTS. A lot of people out there are suffering with POTS. POTS. When you sit down, you try to get up too fast, you thunder all over the place. Your ambulation is off. You can't catch your balance. You have shortness of breath. I'm going to remind you guys again. That is something called POTS. The acronym for that, posterior orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Let me repeat myself. POTS, P-O-T-S. A lot of people out there, men and women, especially if you're over 50, you try to get up too quick, you're tumbling, your eye turning, your heart racing, you'll feel like you're going to die. That is prostatic orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Your cardiac output is too low. But when you try to get up quick, the heart starts to race. It can't handle you. So the body telling you sit down before you're dead. That is a lack of oxygen to the brain. Your energy level is all low and you have problems. Come by Mr. Johnson, 736-3962 or 709-8450. Come and check Mr. Johnson. I will give you the raw materials. We sit down, we have a good talk, and I will help you. There's not a single chronic disease in the human body that cannot be healed. None. And they also said to you all the time, they would say to you every single day, they tell you all the time, autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease. The autoimmune disease is inflammation of the immune system. And all that can be healed. There's no way you can develop a chronic disease that you never had, you didn't born with it, and tell me you have no cure for it. Stop the nonsense. Please. We ain't go down that road. Let us not go down that road. I woke up this morning, 2:15. Just read. How can I help my people? What kind of day I want to have today? What can I do to improve my Dharma? Those are the things I talk about. And I know I'm going to make mistakes along the road. I know I'm going to hit rock stone. I know I'm going to stumble. But me unstoppable. You hear? Me unstoppable. I would never, until breath leave me, and try to help my people who perish by lack of knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, your food, what you put into your biochemistry, what you digest, ladies and gentlemen, the rotten off toe, the prostate, the heart issue, the impotence is the food we eat in. It's the food. The 40 trillion cells needs food. Every 84 days your cells repair themselves. If you do not have the right amount of nutrition, you're going to find yourself in utter problems. Am I, my brothers and sisters, keeper? It's supposed to be. In this life, we all need each other to be each other. Without each other, we are not each other. Ladies and gentlemen, until next week, by the power of the Creator, if Trinidad and Tobago doesn't have a tsunami, I will be right back here on this platform. Please, folks, take care of yourself and each other. Until next week, Megan.
The presence of oxygen is absolutely the absence of disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but is happening